the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time, a night to remember.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. Physically fit, physically fit, physically. Come on. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
London life is all about living with differences. The opposites that attract, the riddles, the paradoxes, the exceptional and the contradictory. They're part of who we are. They make London what it is. You can feel it in the air. Cypress and Grapevine, Joe Malone, London.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy. The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! Let's go. How do you like it? On the show, so aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. Press conference, live on DAZN.
Champion, Mr. Darren Barker. Darren, big news. I have to ask you about this straight away because you said, look, I might be a little bit late this afternoon because I've got a dad's race to win at Sports Day.
Yeah.
Did you win it?
Pulled a hammy.
No.
No, of course I won.
Oh, you won?
Of course I won, yeah. I mean, I went before the starter, but yeah, we got the job done.
So you got
and my boy's like the oldest in the year, so he won everything as well, so it's brilliant. Double-double.
So I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of evidence, to be fair. Yeah.
I didn't race.
Pulled out. Listen, Darren, big moment this for Galal Yafai.
Yeah.
No doubt will be buoyed with confidence after that epic night against Sonny Edwards last year. But heading into this one, when you are potentially just one win away, we always talk about it. This has turned into a big night for Galal in his 10th fight.
It really has. Like you say, the chance to realise a dream is very, very close. Well, a second dream, if you like. He's done the first one, hasn't he? Big box, TX winning the Olympic gold medal. But this one would be special, wouldn't it? To lift the WBC belt aloft would be incredible. And aside from that, Jamie, I think he's on the right path to becoming a star that this city really strives for and looks for. So it's a big, big moment in his career. But you said it there, how good he looked last time out against Sonny Edwards was special. He had the bit between his teeth and showed us what a classy fighter he is. Speed, aggression, work rate and power. And that's what put bums on seats.
Kenshiro Taraji, widely regarded as the #1 man right now at flyweight. From what you've seen, do you believe Galal is good enough to go on and not just challenge but beat these guys?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. You don't do what he's done in the amateurs and what he done, to mention it again, to Sonny Edwards, last time out shows you the class and the pedigree that this man's got. As long as he's switched on, working as hard as ever, he's got a good team around him. There's no reason why he can't not just compete with these, but beat these guys.
What about Francisco Rodriguez Jr. then? Because he's been around for a long time, a 46-fight veteran, made his pro debut back in 2010. Only been stopped once, actually, I should say, and that was against Chocolatito many years ago. Has gone the distance with the likes of Ioka, Nakatani as well recently. Galal says that he thinks this will be his hardest fight he's ever had. And Rodriguez believes that Galal has never faced anyone like him. What problems can he pose?
He's in your face. He's relentless, incredible work rate, tons of experience in comparison to Galal. And he's hungry. You know, these kind of fighters that are in their twilight years of their career, they need that big win. They need that win to really get their career back going. He's obviously got full ambition still left, wants to win a world title himself, or at least challenge for one. So it's important that, you know, he gets a win. And I think sometimes when you're the experienced fighter, you want to look down on these young guns. You're not ready for me yet. You know, I'm not no gatekeeper. I want to beat you and show you how good I am, and I'm going to get the shot at a world title. So it's so important for Galal to say properly switched on. Don't take your eye off the ball. I don't mind it when people say, oh, you know, is he looking at the next fight? Is he looking at the potential shot at a WBC crack? Have half an eye on that, because that, you know, that's the carrot being dangled. But don't fully fixate on that. You know, you've got a tough cookie in front of you, and you've got to, you know, get the job done. Well,
interesting fact, they're both 32, which shows you the different routes you can take in this game. It's incredible, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But what he's done, though, Galal, and look, he stayed in the amateurs to fulfil that dream.
Yeah.
To win that Olympic gold medal. That is, as far as history is concerned, he's done. He's etched his name in amateur folklore, if you like. Now it's about doing what James DeGale done. You know, winning the world title.
Anthony Joshua as well.
Anthony Joshua as well,
Very prestigious club, that.
Exactly. You know, it's a proper group of fighters, a very small group of fighters, and Galal wants to do it.
Yeah, will Galal Yafai be the next male fighter to add his name into that list? That is the main event. Let's give you a little reminder of what else is coming your way on Saturday night, live here on DAZN. 4:15 p.m. on Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels, opening before the bell. 18-year-old super bantamweight Tia Ayton makes her professional debut. An unbeaten amateur star, 5 times national champion, world gold medalist, and last year's Haringey Box Cup champion, where you just spent your weekend, Darren. Keep your eyes peeled on DAZN for all the content from the tournament coming very soon. Straight in at 6 rounds against Sarah Osagi for Tia on Saturday night. 4-0 prospect Hamza Uddin fights for the second time this year in his second 8-rounder. The 21-year-old meets 8-2 Leonardo Blanc of Argentina. Exciting Birmingham talent Ibrahim Spider Suleiman looks to move 8-0 against Brian Phillips over 8 rounds in the super featherweight division. And the highly rated 7-0 Giorgio Vizioli been turning a lot of heads with eye-catching performances of late. He's in with Elias Duguay from the Argentinian capital, also over 8 rounds. And commentary middleweight Aaron Bowen, who is never in a dull affair, once again in front of over 400 of his loyal supporters, steps up to 8 rounds for the first time to face Mikola Volk. Before we cross live...
Busy night for me, by the way.
Very busy. Earning your money, Darren. Before we cross live to the DAZN broadcast, the usual time of 7 p.m, 4 fights make up the card, beginning with the return of Patrick Bomber Brown after an explosive entrance to the pro game in March when he headlined on his debut. The Manchester man is back for fight number 2. He faces Ivan Duka over 6 cruiserweight rounds, and finding the finish from the fire last time out to realise a dream and become British welterweight champion Conor Walker makes the first defence of the Lord Lonsdale strap against Liam Taylor. Now, Peter McGrail was due to face Shabazz Massoud, but the Maverick forced out through injury. In steps Romanian danger man Yanut Baluta, 10 rounds for the WBA International Super Bantamweight title, before, of course, the main event, Galal Yafai versus Francisco Rodriguez Jr. Galal defends the WBC interim world flyweight title, knowing potentially just one win away from a shot at world gold. Well, the fighters are standing by with promoter Eddie Hearn.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Birmingham ahead of a big show on Saturday night, live and exclusive around the world on DAZN. Just talking to Galal and Peter there about the card on Saturday, both saying this is going to be an absolute banger, all action. And we keep talking about, you know, the comments of, we don't want these fights where fighters are running and these Tom and Jerry fights. We understand that fighters have specific styles, but the reality is the public want entertainment. And I think you got that in droves on Saturday night, particularly the 3 fights at the top of the card. Galal Yafai 9-0 now. Birmingham's Olympic champion, looking to cement his shot at the WBC world title against this man, Francisco Rodriguez Jr. I know a lot of people on paper might say, oh, they've brought in another Mexican challenger. Not really. This guy's a former unified world champion. This guy, in my opinion, beat Ioka in Japan, went the distance with Terrazas. This fight will be an absolute war. I said to Galal just then, I said, you'll enjoy Saturday. He went, you will? I said, yeah, exactly. That's what we want to watch, isn't it? We want a war. Yafai Rodriguez is a war. And of course, just a couple of weeks ago, we got the news that Masood was out with an injury. So Peter McGrail says, I want a real fight. Well, up steps this lunatic, Arnett Baluta. I mean, he's an absolute animal. And all of a sudden, you look at the history between the camps with Peter McGrail, wins over Brad Strand, wins over Andrew Kane, draw with Dennis McCann as well. This is a serious, serious fight for Peter McGrail. And what about Conor Walker? I mean, has there ever been a fighter that gives you more value than Conor Walker? In fact, when Sam Jones, the manager, who's like, he's the biggest pain in the arse going, where is he? I don't know, somewhere he is, but was also a very good manager, saw His Excellency's comments. He says, you need to let His Excellency know about Conor Walker. And I did, to be fair. And I just want him to watch on Saturday night this fight, because if you want entertainment, Conor Walker against Liam Taylor is going to give it to you for the British and Commonwealth title. Throw that in with some of the best prospects, not just in British boxing, but in world boxing. Pat Brown, just his second fight, massive support again. I think this guy's good enough to win British and Commonwealth and European titles now. Good step up on Saturday. And Giorgio Vizioli down the end there, already making waves internationally, in America. Again, one of the hottest prospects in the sport. Aaron Bowen, undefeated super middleweight, massive fan base coming from Coventry. Hamzruddin and Ibrahim Suleiman as well, local prospects. And Tia May Ayton, who makes her professional debut on Saturday, 18 years of age. And I don't like to put too much pressure on young fighters coming through. But what I will tell you is, I think this is the future star of women's boxing. Just a born fighter. The journey that her and her dad have been on, the family. Go back, watch the YouTube videos. Look at the background in combat sports. This is, for me, the start of a very, very exciting journey on Saturday night. Let's start with Ibrahim. Ibrahim, how are you?
I'm all good, bro.
Good, man. You've got all your mad fans coming on Saturday. Good to see you back, especially in Birmingham. This is going to be a big, big second half of the year for you in 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. I can't wait, man. I got everyone coming down. It's going to be a brilliant night.
I feel like a lot of our prospects around, you know, your number of fights, all of a sudden boxed all over the country, moving into 8 rounds. We're on the verge now of moving towards those championship fights, English titles, British titles and beyond.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, a step at a time. And let's get this one over with on Saturday. And that's it, we move on.
Hamza, same for you, 8 rounds on Saturday. On the verge now of English and British titles as well. Back in Birmingham, huge support again, ready to go.
Absolutely, mate, ready to go. Got hundreds coming in support. We've got a good opponent. We've got a Rio 2016 Olympian, former continental champion, so he's coming to win. He's no mug, but I'm going to show him who Hamzruddin is. All my fights we've seen speed, power, skill, entertainment, but this Saturday is about putting it all together and reminding everyone who Hamzruddin is.
Again, same as Ibrahim as well. Very important second half of 2025 for you. Probably your last fight before some kind of championship.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. At my weight, we move quick, like my opponent this Saturday. So yeah, every fight is a step up, and yeah, a few belts from my waist very soon.
Aaron, the scene of one of the best before the bell fights I've ever seen with you last time here in Birmingham, and probably the loudest away support I've ever seen as well. Probably looking to make it look a little bit easier than last time on Saturday, but ready to go. And same position as these guys, kind of last 8 rounder really before you move to the 10s and those championship fights.
Yeah, like you say, can't slip up, but you know, if I need to go there, I'll go there. But 8 rounder now, then it's Midlands title, English title, so I can't afford to slip up, and I've got to look good and take this guy out of there if I want to push on to that main table slot. So pressure on myself, but looking forward to it.
Again, massive support coming. Great support in Ireland as well, and I know with the potential of a maybe stadium fight for Crocker against Donovan, could be a big fight for you there. Obviously, focus on Saturday, but again, back part of 2025 going to be very important for your career.
Yeah, massively. I mean, I'm just looking forward to that next few fights. Can't look past Saturday, but I really think I'm going to be in some big domestic fights. That Irish fight is there, and hopefully one day bring it back to the Rico Arena. But just keep winning and keep looking good.
Definitely a plan to headline with you in Coventry in 2026. Tia, welcome. The journey starts this Saturday. I'll say it feels like a long time coming. You're only 18 years of age, but it's been quite a few months now since you're in the ring as an amateur.
Yeah.
Journey starts on Saturday, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get in the ring. I haven't been in there since like February, so I'm just excited to get back in there and fight.
Undefeated as an amateur. I think undefeated in any fight you've ever had.
Yeah, I'm undefeated. I've had like over 300 fights, so it's quite a good record.
People talk about your ability across the martial arts code and the kickboxing code and the wrestling code. What was it that turned your eye to boxing?
I just think boxing, like the path to become pro, is very good, and I just want to get the WBC world title belt one day, hopefully. So yeah.
Interesting opponent for you as well. I know that you feel like your level's above her, but never been stopped. Had a good win over a Queensbury debutant as well. Seems to go the distance with a lot of seasoned fighters as well. So should be good experience for you in there. But we know you are renowned for your punching power and that spite as well.
Yeah, I feel like she's definitely here to win. So I just gotta show everyone what I'm about as well. And hopefully I can get that stoppage.
Well, looking forward to seeing the journey begin for you on Saturday night. Giorgio, welcome. Again, same kind of question to these guys. Seems like a lot of our prospects at the moment are right on the verge of those English, I think for you, probably British and Commonwealth and European fights as well. Good step up for you on Saturday against a solid opponent.
Yeah, for sure. Good little step up. Argentinian A1 or something like that. But yeah, not very, very close to fighting for the English and that and British. But it's it's a matter of time. And me and my team we'll do it.
Seen a lot of obviously talk about you recently. Went to America for sparring, which I think is always a great idea. Ended up going in with Curiel Morton, and I've seen the spar. Let's not say anymore, but he'll get upset. But it has actually brought a lot of eyeballs to you, a lot of attention as well, and that kind of experience is crucial moving forward. But now going through the gears and excited for a big end to the year.
Yeah, for sure. Going out to America was a great experience. Obviously, with the Kermel stuff, it's gone a bit viral. We know what we did. You've seen what we did. But like you said, it's just sparring. But I'm looking forward to Saturday night and showing more of my levels, because I believe I'm one of the best prospects in the world right now.
Well, we agree. And we also believe this man is as well. Pat Brown. Pat, welcome. Seems like a long time since that professional debut. It was only a couple of months ago, but a great choice of opponents. Obviously, you headlined there. Next Gen completely sold the place out. Crazy support. Looking forward to getting back into the ring on Saturday night.
Yeah, looking forward to getting back in the ring. My debut was obviously what fighters dream of doing. It was tough, and I got a good 4 rounds out of it. It wasn't just someone who's just taking a knee in the first round. So yeah, and my opponent this Saturday is a big lump, 6'5", tall, rangy, and he's coming to win as well. And they're the fights I want. I don't want fighters who are just gonna get hit once and just take a payday and go on the knee. I want people who are going to bring it to me, and then you'll see the best Pat Brown.
Obviously for you it's an interesting one where you are scheduled to fight on the big card in Manchester, Catterall against Eubank, July 5th. Does that change anything going into Saturday night? Want to get it done nice and quickly? I know that's very important for you to be fighting in that arena back home, but 2 fights in 2 weeks, all being well.
Yeah, it's good. Activity's good. And yeah, it's going to be in the back of my mind, fighting this kid on Saturday, because you can't be getting cuts, you can't be getting no injuries, so I'll be taking my time, won't be doing nothing silly. Don't get me wrong, if he wants to have it with me, it's quite hard for me not to trade a bit of leather, but yeah, in the back of my mind will be the Manchester fight. I'm really looking forward to that, but at the moment I've got a job to do on Saturday, and I can't wait.
I know, again, focus is on Saturday, but I have to ask you, I was talking to your protege, Dave Allen, earlier, and I sort of said to him, what level do you think Pat's at? And he says, I think he beats everyone domestically already, but just don't tell him that. I'm telling you that. But when we talk about the path, it's 6 rounds on Saturday, then moving to 8 to Manchester as well. You want to get in that deep end, given your amateur experience, as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm 25. I've only had 1 pro fight. Obviously, me and Dave, it's got me out there a little bit as well. A few eyeballs watching me, and it's obviously all good. But at the end of the day, it's boxing. Anything can happen. I'm going to be mature. I'm going to go through the right way, and it's about being real as well. I'm not going to be one of them guys where I'm going to be like, yeah, I can beat so and so and beat so and so. I've only had one pro fight, but that's not me saying I won't fight no one, because I will. You know, my team, Jamie, Nigel, whoever they put in front of me, if they believe it, I'll believe it, and yeah, I'll keep getting the heads one by one.
Oh, Pat Brown, Giorgio Vizioli, just two of our fantastic members of a talent roster at Matchroom. We go into, again, it's championship fight, British and Commonwealth title. Everyone remembers Conor Walker's victory against Harry Scarf. We were doing a watch along with DAZN. We had a show in Vegas at the time, and I've never gone so mental in a fight because the fight was over, really. Conor Walker was getting beaten, miles behind. It didn't look like many believed there was a way back. I have to be honest, I wasn't really believing there was going to be a way back, and just produced one of the most unbelievable performances to stop Harry Scarf and become British champion on that night. And as we said earlier, that belt for me is arguably the best in the sport. All of a sudden now he's on the cusp of not just massive domestic fights, but big fights on the world scene as well. The man to my left, Liam Taylor, looking to stop that. Liam, welcome. Everybody who knows boxing, everyone knows the domestic scene, knows this can only be a cracker on Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously both our styles will mix well together. It's going to be one to watch, definitely.
Been around a while, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I remember you being on our shows years ago.
Yeah.
Always been a very solid fighter, big fan base as well. What's been the difference now? It looks like some big improvements, almost like a maturity within the sport, and now on the verge, of course, of winning this wonderful belt on Saturday.
Yeah, I feel like I've been pro 14 years now, but the past couple of years I've really knuckled down, especially with Steve. The gym's flying, we're all pushing each other. That's helped a lot, you know. We've got a couple of British champions in the gym at the minute. So obviously I've been pro the longest out of a lot. So I feel like I'm a little bit behind them now. So that's given me a little bit more motivation. The reason I turned pro was to win the Lonsdale belt, and I finally got, you know, an opportunity again.
What would that mean to you? You know, people talk about that British title. I mean, aesthetically, it's beautiful, but it's something that can never be taken away from you. Conor said in an interview yesterday, whatever happens, I'm the British champion. I'll always be the British champion. It'll be a career-defining moment for you.
Well, that's exactly what I want. Obviously, last time I boxed for the British title in Birmingham here, I was 4 seconds away from winning it. Head clash, stopped that. I was up on the card, so it's a bit sweet. It'll be nice Saturday night, you know, when I get the victory.
We know you always want to fight. So does this man.
Yep.
I'm sure you've seen the tape, the war after war, all action fighter. Should be a fantastic one to watch.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it'll be a great fight.
Conor, welcome. I don't know how you pulled it out of the bag last time. You told me that you was very calm. You knew it was coming, but it was just one of the most dramatic moments British boxing has seen, certainly this year as well. And now the chance to fight back home, massive support again. And now really the hunted, this man trying to pick up your dream that you achieved in January, and a big fight for your career at the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I've trained my whole career for this belt. I'm not going to. It's not going anywhere. Believe me, this is staying with me. I know I've got to a fight in Liam Taylor. I know what he's about. I feel like I've watched him over the years that much that I know what he's going to throw, and I know how he's going to navigate around the ring, and I just think it's you know, it's going to be a tough fight. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good fighter, but like you say, he comes to fight, which is what we all want to see and what I like to do.
Does that mindset change in terms of how you fight now moving forward? I mean, I felt like maybe in January, but certainly before that, you were kind of like a shot to nothing. You know, you were looking for those opportunities. You got these opportunities on the card. It was almost like, not win or lose, it didn't really matter, but you kind of now in a position where you're talking about potentially European, even world title opportunities as well. You can't really afford to slip up at this moment.
No, definitely not. But like, you know, this is our 6th fight together now. You know, 6th time up here, and you know, I've had 6 fights, all top level opponents, and every fight, I'm just getting better. I'm polishing the edges. I'm becoming a more complete fighter, and I'm navigating around the ring better. I'm understanding the rounds, and I'm a championship fighter, as you've seen. 11th round, you know what I mean? I pulled it out of the bag. There's 12 rounds for a reason, so you know, I'm very, very confident in my abilities, and you know, I'm looking forward to this fight. The last fight, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to it because you know, it's Harry Scarf. No one looks good against that guy. He's I've done everyone in the welterweight division a favour, including Liam, because he actually had the opportunity to fight him and he turned it down to let me fight him. So I've gone and done the mopped up the dirt, and now we're here. But I'm really looking forward to this fight under the new setup with Jamie and Nige. You know, I've really come into my own as a real dangerous fighter, and I think that you're going to see the best of me.
Well, I can't wait. You two are going to give us a great fight. British and Commonwealth title on the line on Saturday. Another great fight. Peter McGraw against Baluta can only be a thriller. Inat, we'll start with you. Welcome. Fairly short notice. I know you're a man that takes short notice opportunities, but you look in tremendous shape. Ready for another big fight in the UK?
Otra oportunidad este sábado para hacer lo que normalmente haces.
No, de verdad, solo me ha dicho con 4 semanas antes de pelear, yo estoy listo para este sábado y estoy aquí para dar un gran espectáculo y para traerme el cinturón a casa.
Yeah, to be honest, I had 4 weeks of notice for this fight, but I'm completely ready for Saturday, and I'm here to take away that belt.
I know that you have victories over 2 of Peter's stablemates and the draw with Dennis McCann as well. You believe you have the beating of Peter McGraw?
Sabemos que tenéis ya 2 victorias sobre el establo de Peter McGraw, obviamente también el empate técnico con Dennis McCann. ¿Opinas que tienes lo que hay que tener para ganar la pelea del sábado?
Este sábado quiero hacer el hat-trick y no quiero hablar más de Dennis McCann. Solo quiero doy este sábado un gran espectáculo y traerme el cinturón.
You know, on Saturday, I'll make it the hat-trick over the stable, and I really don't want to talk about Dennis McCann anymore. You know, all I'll say on Saturday is that I'm coming to put on a good show and to take away that belt.
Peter, good fight for you on Saturday. I mean, it was a great fight against Shabazz, and people looking forward to that, but you've seen the responses online, people equally looking forward to this challenge. Real fight for you, as always. Want to step up, want to prove your ability, and the chance to do that against a very dangerous fighter.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I'm at the point in my career now, I'm looking to push on, and, you know, the fight with Dennis was a big fight for me. That fell off. The fight with Shabazz was probably an even bigger fight, and that fell off. But, you know, Baluta stepped in. Big respect to Baluta for stepping in, but it's a big fight for me, and I'm coming to do a job on him, yeah.
I know it's only narrative as well, but I know that you know you and Paul have been around. Brad and Andrew, 2 of your stablemates, taking on Inat as well. Does that make a difference? You've seen him up close on multiple occasions before. You must have thought, watching on the night, what you might do, being the same weight, and probably knew that at some point this fight might happen.
Yeah, 100%. Personally, I thought Brad actually won on that night, and when Baluta got his hand raised, I was off. I think I might have looked at my manager and said, "Get me in," and I was just thinking, like, I'd love to smash him. Do you know what I mean? He's got 2 wins over the gym, but you know, we're here now. So we taught him, and you know what I asked for has come, has evolved. So yeah, we're here now and we're ready.
Like you say, it hasn't been completely plain sailing in the pro ranks because of those pullouts as well. Obviously suffered that defeat after cruising in that fight as well, and you come back, you've accepted every fight. Time now to really kick on, and obviously I know that those fights didn't happen for you, but you had the win in Riyadh season as well, and time to really cement your route to the World Championship.
Yeah, definitely. Ed. I think I'm sitting at number 6 now in the WBA. You know, defend the belt against Baluta Sati. Who knows where we're going to go, and hopefully we go up a few places, but I'm only 1 or 2 away from, you know, a title shot, whoever that will be. But for now it's focused on Baluta and, you know, putting a show on for Birmingham Saturday.
Well, great fight, McGraw against Baluta. Now we go to the main event, which I said can only be a war. The guy to my right, a special talent. Of course, anyone that wins Olympic gold is a special talent, but especially now in the pro ranks, he's done everything that's been asked of him. He's boxed all around the world, in Abu Dhabi, out in America. Of course, headline now. This is his 3rd time headlining and just had 9 fights. But this is the final fight before he fights for the WBC full title, and he does that, as I said, against a former unified world champion, a guy that has been in electric fights, 12 rounds, all-action fighter in Francisco Rodriguez Jr. Francisco, welcome. I read your comments. This is a big moment for you. You come well prepared, ready for war on Saturday.
primer lugar, bienvenido, Francisco. He escuchado tus comentarios. Vienes preparado, listo para mañana, lo que sería el sábado, para una guerra total.
Gracias, primero que nada, muchísimas gracias. Buenas tardes a todos. Y gracias al señor Eddie Hearns por la oportunidad. Y claro que vengo muy bien preparado y lo que sí les digo es que no vengo de tan lejos a perder.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone present here. I also want to give a big thanks to Eddie Hearn for the opportunity. Yeah, and of course, I come really prepared for this fight. You know, on Saturday, I'm not coming so far just to lose this fight.
Francisco, Galal Yafai is all action. He comes forward, he throws a huge amount of punches. The styles should mix very well. We expect a great fight on Saturday.
Sabemos que Galal Yafai le gusta tirar muchísimos golpes. Es un boxeador de acción. Los estilos tienen que acoplar para el sábado para que sea una muy buena pelea.
Sí, así es. Es un boxeador que lanza muchos golpes, pero realmente él no ha tenido enfrente a alguien que lance la misma cantidad de golpes y con fuerza. Esta pelea yo creo que se va a mezclar muy bien los estilos y vamos a dar una excelente pelea y la gente va a salir ganando.
Yes, it's true that, you know, Galal Yafai throws lots of shots, but I'd also say that I equal him in the amount of shots that I throw. And what I would say is that I don't believe he's ever faced someone like me who throws those shots and throws them with power. You know, without doubt, the styles will mix on Saturday night, and it'll be an excellent fight, and ultimately, the fans will come out as winners.
Thank you, Francisco. I agree. Galal, if he throws as many punches as you, we should get a Fight of the Year contender on Saturday. Big league now, a real fight for you on Saturday.
Yeah, he's a great fighter, Rodriguez. Anyone that knows him. But like you said, he comes forward, I come forward. It should make a great fight for the fans. Not so good for myself and him. But yeah, as long as I get the win, that's what it matters.
Obviously, third time headlining, and the fight with Sonny Edwards was high-profile fight. We know that after it was a great win by you, but Sonny was coming towards the end of his career. Looks like Rodriguez.
Why was he coming towards the end of his career? He's 28.
Okay, well.
He's 28 years old. I'm 32.
So what you would say is you put him towards the end of his career.
Well, he's 28. In 28, I was in my prime. I won Olympic gold at 28. It's normally 28 at your prime, but...
Do you expect a different kind of challenge from this man?
Yeah, definitely. He should be my hardest fight on paper. Let's hope it's not in reality on Saturday.
When you look at the route towards World Championships and the route towards preparation for those kind of fighters, Terrazas and fighters of that ilk as well, this seems to be that perfect step. I mean, I felt like he beat Ioka in that fight. You know, the fight with Terrazas was a war as well. He's a former unified world champion as well. But after this, there is nothing else to do but to challenge for a world title.
Yeah, you know what? I've had to fight Sonny, who was #1 in the Ring magazine. That's not from what I thought. He was #1. The Ring said he was #1. And then I've had to fight the WBC #1, who's Rodriguez. And then I'll have to go to Japan probably and fight the pound-for-pound fighter, a champion, who's got the WBC and WBA belt in Taraji. So yeah, I've not had it easy ever.
And those fights out there, I was there recently for Sugar Nunez as well. Mr. Honda's ready to look to do that. Obviously, we'd love to do that over here, but either way, victory on Saturday should secure a full shot at the world title.
Yeah, you know what? I don't look too far ahead. Rodriguez is a top fighter. I've got to get past him first, and then I'll have one eye on Taraji or Sandoval, because I know he's fighting him. So, yeah.
Well, all-action fight on Saturday. These two count the punch stats this weekend. A great main event, Galal Yafai against Francisco Rodriguez Jr. for the WBC interim world title. Peter McGraw against Baluta in a fantastic matchup. I think a Fight of the Year contender, Conor Walker against Liam Taylor. Two of the best prospects in world boxing in Giorgio Vizioli and Pat Brown, as well as other great prospects, huge ticket sellers, Ibrahim Suleiman, Hamza Udin, Aaron Bowen in the professional debut of Tia May 8. It is a cracking card on Saturday night in Birmingham, live on DAZN. We're going to face off the fighters now. Don't miss it. We'll see you for the weigh-in tomorrow. Thank you.
I don't think Galal Yafai was too happy with Eddie Hearn there when he said, look, Sonny Edwards was coming to the end of his career. Galal said, look, he was only 28. I won Olympic gold at 28. Do you think he's got the credit he deserves for that win over Sonny?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. He just doesn't want his biggest win, and rightly so, rubbished, because it was a very good win. He walked through Sonny, didn't he? It was a very... He had the bit between his teeth that night, didn't he, Galal?
Big time.
There was the needle. It was a brilliant build-up, that fight. It really, really was good. But he wanted to make a point. And that performance was a very good one, and one that really will kickstart his career, if you like, into sort of super speed motion, if you like.
I think one of the highlights as well from the press conference was Yannick Baluta saying, look, we talked about it earlier, look, he's faced two guys from the Everton Red Triangle gym and has wins over them, Brad Strand and Andrew Kane as well. He says he's going to make it a hat-trick when he beats Peter McGrail here. Listen, sometimes you get a late substitution and it can cause problems, but
yeah,
everyone knows Baluta's a dangerous man.
Oh, look, he comes to fight for sure, and so do these four. I mean, this is a real bunch. Really looking forward to seeing Tia Ayton make her pro debut. What an unbelievable amateur resume. She's got 21 fights, 21 wins, 9 by stoppage, 5-time national champion, youth world champion under 19. She won the Boxing Cup in Sweden. Incredible talent.
Yeah, look forward to seeing the professional debut of TMA Ayton. Says she doesn't just want to be a world champion, she wants to be the undisputed world champion, and no doubt that will also be the dream for these two men as well. Pat Brown returns after headlining on his debut in Altrincham earlier this year, and Giorgio Vizioli been turning a lot of heads, Darren, particularly with the Kermel Moton sparring stories that have gone pretty viral, as he said. People getting very excited about Giorgio Vizioli. But here is this one then. Peter McGrail, of course, due to face Shabazz Massoud, who unfortunately was forced out. Let's try and listen in here.
He says, vosotros sabéis, yo voy a hacer el sábado. Quiero dar un gran espectáculo y me traigo el cinturón. Okay. Yeah, he said he don't like Scousers, and you're going to get smashed. No, yo the Saturday yo hacer el hater. The Saturday, the big spectacle and the victory. He says. Yo soy el campeón. Yo soy el campeón. Yo soy el campeón. El sábado va a ser un gran espectáculo. So he's going to have a spectacular victory on Saturday. I won't be saying that when you take the left hand, the body. No, body, no. He said you're Donald Duck. Yo soy el campeón. Yo soy el jefe.
I would take Eddie Hearn's translation with a pinch of salt there, Darren Barker. It was quite entertaining, nonetheless.
He's fluent in Romanian.
Well done, boys. Well done.
We'll keep your eyes peeled on Matchroom socials for the accurate translation of that one. Be interested to see how close Eddie actually was. But that's a great fight, Peter McGrail against Yannick Baluta. As is this. Now, Conor Walker, you challenged him, Eddie. You told him to throw the kitchen sink at Harry Scarf. When he was way down on the scorecards, he really struggled that night. But he found the shot, he landed it and left as British and Commonwealth champion, realised the dream. But when you put these two in a ring, I think it gives you a recipe for a really good fight here.
Yeah, no doubt. It really is a good fight. It's a mouth-watering clash, so much on the line. This is a dream for both. It really is, and big fights looming around the corner for the winner, so a must-win.
Yeah, I said to Conor Walker, how do you keep motivated now everything is just a bonus? His dream was just to win the British title. He said, you know what, I just love fighting. We love watching him. And we love watching Galal Yafai as well. This is a big moment in his career, the final hurdle to a world title shot, a shot of becoming part of a very small group of male fighters who have captured Olympic gold for Team GB and gone on to win a world title as a professional, as we spoke earlier. James DeGale, Anthony Joshua. Could Galal Yafai be next? Any talk of that relies on victory against Francisco Rodriguez Jr. this weekend, and it's live only on DAZN. And of course, it's not just the boxing you can look forward to on DAZN this summer. Have a look at this.
Don't sweat the technique.
The FIFA Club World Cup.
And check the file. Let's see who can bet the dot-tech style. I flip the script so they can't get fouled. At least not now. When they sweat the technique.
One
of elite football. Every day, coming to you live on DAZN. Who will be the undisputed champions of the world?
We'll sweat the technique.
Well, we are now joined by promoter and translator, Mr. Eddie Hearn. Eddie, we just saw there the FIFA Club World Cup promo. Lots to look forward to on DAZN right now, and that shows you the direction they're trying to move in.
Incredible. I mean, the fact that every major team, virtually,
Besides Celtic, should be
virtually
there.
around the world is competing live on DAZN. I mean, we are renowned, really, in most people's mind, I guess in this country and in America, as a boxing platform. But it's not. It's a global sports platform, and the FIFA Club World Cup is a massive catch for DAZN. And, you know, not only can you watch great nights of boxing like Saturday, you can also watch all the major teams, virtually every major team from around the world.
They're calling this the final hurdle for Galal Yafai towards a fight against Kenshiro Taraji. We know he's got a big fight coming up next month himself as unified champion, but I asked Darren this question. You believe Galal is ready, all going well on Saturday?
I actually think this is a very, very tough fight, and you know, Galal, I don't think quite liked my question about Sonny Edwards, but the reality is whatever way you want to look at it, we didn't know that when Sonny Edwards entered that ring, probably mentally, like whatever Galal says, Sonny mentally wasn't 100% going into that fight. Now, he still took him to pieces, and it was a brilliant performance, and I guess he wants, you know, his flowers for that performance. He should get it, but the mindset of Rodriguez versus the mindset of Sonny Edwards going into this fight is very different. I know these guys, right? We work with a lot of Mexican fighters. When a guy is coming up to me saying, thank you for this opportunity, I promise you I will not let you down on Saturday night. This is Rodriguez. I don't even know the guy. This is his absolute everything. And these young men are so tough, Jamie. Like, they go over to Japan. I thought he beat Ioka. I thought it was a very close fight. Terrazas, these guys, he's a former unified world champion.
Went 10 with Nakatani.
He's going to give Yafai all he can handle. I believe Yafai will come through. But this is when people talk about that preparation to fight for a world title, this is absolutely it. I mean, Galal talks about, all right, to beat the Ring Magazine #1, the WBC. Yeah, but by the way, in doing it, you are giving yourself every opportunity to win that title when the big opportunity comes.
Does he need to look good? Look, I know...
You always need to look good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we keep talking about at the moment, right? And I see it like this whole Tom and Jerry stuff, like be exciting. When has Galal not been in an exciting fight? Every time he fights, he's all action. Your stock, your value rises when you look spectacular. So, really, you look at Terrazas, obviously Mr. Honda and those guys want to bring Galal Yafai to Japan for that fight. That is the key market for the lighter weight divisions for the big fights. What we want is a thriller where Galal Yafai looks sensational, and maybe we can bring that fight to Birmingham. Do you know what I mean? So you're under pressure every time you fight to perform. And fighters, you know, I got asked so many questions last week about what do you think about the comments about you have to be entertaining. My answer is this: you have your own style. Right, you shouldn't necessarily have to adapt that to try and survive in the game. Just understand, if you are entertaining, the show goes on, your stock rises and the opportunities increase.
And I guess as well, in this city, still looking for a real star. You know, they haven't had one for a long time. And if he was to back up the performance that he done against Sonny Edwards on Saturday night, he's well on his way.
I also feel, Dan, sometimes like the lighter weight divisions just don't really get the credit. I mean, the reality is Galal is a flyweight. So what? I mean, look at Bam Rodriguez, top 5 pound for pound, one of the biggest stars in the sport. But it is a harder route. You have to almost do something more spectacular to get the recognition. He should get that recognition anyway. He's an Olympic gold medalist. So, you know, but I feel like sometimes people look at the opponent, you know, like just a casual boxing fan might say, oh, Rodriguez, it's a Mexican, it's just a Galal victory, isn't it? They don't necessarily watch the tape, look at the unified championship victories, look at the big fights in Japan, and know that this is by far, given now what we know about Sonny, Galal, the toughest fight of his career so far. Like, it can only be a war. And that's what you want when you bring in an opponent. It's a bit like Baluta. right? It's like...
What were they saying up there? Because obviously we couldn't understand.
He was, all jokes aside, my Spanish and with a little Romanian mix wasn't quite up to speed, but basically saying that he's going to have a spectacular victory on Saturday. And he believes it, by the way. I mean, look, also, you know, like when you've got a team of people like Lee Eaton, like these kind of guys behind Baluta, they're right bang up for it. And that's what you want. You know, when we got the phone call from Shabazz to say that he was out, it's always a gutter. I mean, don't forget, McGrail hasn't had the best of luck. Right? Dennis McCann pulled out. Well, he failed a test, so he was out of the fight. All of a sudden, Shabazz is out of the fight. He's agreeing to all of these fights. And then all of a sudden, Tom Dallas goes to me, Baluta's up for it. And I'm like, oh, yes. Will he take it? It wasn't like, will you fight Baluta? 1,000,000%, put me in. But that's like, if you are as good as you're supposed to be, you'll beat Baluta.
And great narrative, too, with the victories over the lads in the other
of course. But that's like, where you've got to be, it's a bit like Yafai. If Yafai can't beat Rodriguez, he's not going to beat Terrazas. Agreed? I mean, like that's... And by the way, if McGrail can't beat Baluta, he's not going to win a world championship.
And if he does, I'm so intrigued about the route that McGrail will go on if he does get the win. What's the plan for him?
There's only one champion in the division, which is Inoue. That all changes in September when Akhmadaliev dethrones him in Japan. And then we can talk about Akhmadaliev against McGrail. It's a great fight, but also, look, I know that's me being a fanboy, but over time, the belts are going to fragment. So what you have to do with someone like Peter McGrail is get him into a mandatory position for that world title. That's all you can do. And that could be against MJ, could be against Inoue, or it could be for a vacant title. But I like the mindset of where Peter's at in his career right now, which is I'm ready for everybody. I don't care if it's Shabazz, I don't care if it's McCann, I don't care if it's Baluta. Give me the big fights. And that's what...
Will you look to revisit the Masood fight?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, Masood, I don't think he's going to be out for a huge period of time. So he's going to want to come back and have a big fight. And you know, we've got some big nights planned. So that's a great fight. But as is this one against Baluta.
Got to ask you about one of your favourites.
Yeah.
You referenced the watch-along when you were over in the
Yeah.
States when, let's be honest, he was miles down. Darren said he's got to throw the kitchen sink. He did it and became British champion.
I was watching Conor Walker against Liam Taylor. And, you know, look, I'm always going to talk it up. The fight was over. I mean, it almost had... I mean, it was worse than Wardley against Honey because that's the heavyweights and, you know, even though Honey was well in control, this weren't even close, was it? You'd struggle to give Conor Walker more than 1 round, 2 rounds in that fight? Yeah. And against such a style like Harry Scarf, it's just like I was just sitting there waiting for the rounds to go out. And I go, fair play to Conor Walker, he's given it a go and he's fought, as he said, Harry Scarf, which no one wants to do. And it wasn't like it was coming, was it? It wasn't like, oh, and all of a sudden it was set up beautifully. And like, I just love to see people change their life like Conor Walker has. But he's only just at the tip of the iceberg in terms of what could become. Like if he beats Liam Taylor on Saturday, he's guaranteed another big domestic fight. But he's also how far away from the belts at 147 are all of a sudden becoming fragmented.
He told me he wants the winner of Crocker Donovan.
Yeah, but not just the winner of Crocker Donovan. You've got Giasov, who's going to fight for the Super Championship. He's going to get himself ranked with the WBA as well. Who knows what could happen? Like, but it's, you know, it doesn't matter if it's Conor Walker, doesn't matter if it's Dave Allen. You know, it's just something about seeing a fighter go on a run against all odds and just go through the levels of payday and maybe houses. Do you know what I mean? And just see a guy. You have to remember, Conor Walker was at area title level, getting beat. Right? English title level, getting beat. And he just took a fight against Cyrus Patterson as an opponent. Cyrus Patterson was us. He was we just expect him to stroll through Conor Walker in a good fight. And he wins that fight. He has an absolute hellacious war against Lewis Crocker in a fight that could have gone either way. Comes back, you know, beats Lewis Ritson, beats Harry Scarf in a classic. This fight, I wouldn't say 50-50 because I think Conor's on a great run, but pretty much 50-50.
Certainly a better style for Conor Walker.
Oh, well, he said, I'm looking forward to this fight. But how many times can you go to the well, you know? And he's going to be there again on Saturday, going to the well.
Serious crop of youngsters on the undercard, but someone I'm so excited to watch is the debut.
Yeah.
Tia Ayton, 21 fights, 21 wins, 9 by stoppage.
But she just said there, she had a couple of 100 kickboxing fights and never lost.
Never lost any fight.
There's tape. There's tape of Tia Ayton in a cage, UFC style, I mean, I don't know how old she is. 9, 10?
I think she's doing interviews.
All right, I was going to pull her over because I'm fascinated by the story, right?
I think I know the one. I think she's 12.
Yeah, but it's like, but you can't strike, but you can grapple. And they're in there, and she's like slinging her over. I'm like, this, like, she's a fighting machine. And I love the story, and I've seen the old YouTube videos of her dad, like, driving her around the country. Now she's flying all over the world with Dean, the trainer, and stuff like that. She's never been beaten in any combat, right? She's had 21 amateur fights, 9 or 10 knockouts. She's stopping girls. Everything she goes into. Tia, come here.
Oh, come on, Tia, we'll bring you in.
You said to us you've had a couple of 100 fights undefeated as well. Is that kickboxing?
Yeah, Muay Thai, MMA, kickboxing.
So Muay Thai...
Never lost?
No, the last time I lost I was 8. So, and I've only lost 3 times actually.
And what was that discipline?
Well, I'm so upset.
No, but as in, like, was it Muay Thai, wrestling?
Oh, I lost once in kickboxing and twice in Muay Thai.
And how many fights have you had in total?
Like over 300. So,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I'm so glad you come into boxing because I think you could have been a UFC star as well.
I know, I could have, but I like
When you unify all the divisions and then we go to UFC, just make sure I'll represent you, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks.
And also, we should also mention about your rapping ability. So I just want to tell a little story, right? So Tia, there was a video on YouTube of her and her dad. She created a rap, right? It's actually stuck with me. It's like A-Y-T-O-N. So yeah, right. It's so good, right? I said to Brian Peters, our manager, we need to release this. She's removed the video.
Yeah.
She's got her dad to take it.
I thought it was going to be your ring walk.
No, because they wanted me to do that. I said no.
In the ring, will you do it?
No. Okay, maybe like after a few fights, but not this one.
No, we need to release that before the debut on Saturday. Well, we'll see. I'll tell you. No, you won't get bullied. No one's going to bully you. Trust me.
Before we let you go, Tia, quick prediction. What happens on Saturday night?
I hope I'll do a stoppage. That's my predictions, but either way, I'm going to win.
Okay, the start of a very exciting journey. Tia, thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us. We'll let you jump out.
Thank you.
You reminded me like the Louis Theroux rap there.
I know, yeah. It is. It's really good. No, but it's just like, do you know what excites me? When you've been on that journey from, I don't know, 8 or 7, and you imagine, like, I mean, look, you got a daughter, right? I've got a daughter. You imagine going on that journey, all these international tournaments, like kickboxing, boxing, and then all of a sudden, like, you're pro debuting on Saturday night. It's so exciting. I think her dad's around. I can't wait. I've not met him yet, but I just can't wait to just feel my dad always said to me, if you can get 1% of the buzz of a fighter or that person, and you imagine being like of that incredible experience, and she's a born fighter. She's like a one-off.
He's so proud.
Yeah, but
he's been telling
she should
people
be
the whole
because of
time.
the dedication.
Oh, I dad
Yeah, no, but he should be because of the dedication she showed. You know, kids these days, you know, you go in for something for 6 months or a year, then you find something else, then you find going out with your mates, then this and that. It's a pure dedication from 6 or 7 years, born to fight.
Future world champion.
She better look good on Saturday because I've really talked it up.
I've got to ask you quickly about Pat Brown. He was someone we glossed over there. Firstly, I've got to ask, the thinking, putting him on, there's one thing, keeping a fighter active. Twice in 2 weeks, what's the thoughts behind that?
Well, just because you need to be active at this stage in your career. You know, the route with Pat, every fighter, when you sit down with fighters, I mean, Tia's an example, and Leo and Adam Macker, they're 18 years of age. So it's like, have 6 or 7 6-rounders. But Pat is 2 6-rounders, 2 8-rounders, then into the 10s. So we've got a great opponent for him, not just on Saturday, but in Manchester as well. It's a really good step up. And I just feel like the only concern on Saturday is, like he said, it's in your head a little bit. It's like, I'm fighting in 2 weeks. And you know that he sold a lot of tickets for Saturday, but he'll do 1,000 in Manchester. So he's thinking, blimey, I don't want to, get a nick here or damage a hand and I'm out of Manchester. So it's a little bit difficult. But
just very quickly, Ed, just on that, I'm just thinking about the journeys that certain fighters take, and someone like Pat Brown, who's got that unbelievable pedigree but gets moved along quicker. Do you see their careers being shorter than the average fighter?
Probably in terms of fights, because you're getting there much quicker. So normally with a debutant, like the contract would read anywhere between 4 and 6 round fights, depending on their age and their amateur experience. Like if you look at Galal, he's had 9 fights. He's a WBC interim world champion. I think he's had, well, his first fight was a championship fight, 10 rounds.
Was, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but with Pat, it's like, you know, with his style, he's going to be even better over 10 rounds, you know, than he would be over 6, because maybe 1 or 2 rounds he just gets into the fight. But he's a handful. Horrible. Imagine fighting Pat Brown. What an horrible
how
big
he got
lump
Dave Allen on his shoulders.
No, I know.
I do not know.
Did you see him? He was, you know.
He ticks a lot of boxes.
Man down.
Yeah, but listen, Pat's also a great personality and a real solid human being. And I've got to say that can't call it a partnership, but the friendship between Dave and Pat Brown is one of the funniest things in boxing. I mean, you should have heard them earlier. They're really, I think Pat, and especially that gym, has been really good for Dave Allen, because you don't mess around in that gym. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I was so shocked when Dave Allen told me today that last night he was on the treadmill.
It was
at 10 o'clock at night.
I can actually vouch for him.
You know, I know.
He was.
I mean, it was, as he told me, only 10 kilometres an hour. But listen, it's a start, you know?
It was a speed walk.
Yeah.
What's next for Dave?
Wilder?
We're in negotiations for a couple of massive fights.
I've heard some mad...
I know. And Dave has put himself in a position, because of his, not just because of his win, but because of his personality and because of his profile, that he's, and he won't mind me saying this, he's a good opponent, right? But we want him to be more than that, right? He's made good money, and if he gets that shot against someone I'm referring to, you're talking about more en suites than he could have ever dreamed of, right? I'm talking about the big mansion, right? Which is, nothing would make me happier to see Dave Allen walking around his multi-en-suite mansion in his dressing gown and his slippers, right? I mean, you must feel the same, right? Just so.
Can of coke in his hand.
Yeah, but part of me just feels like we've got so much more to give on this journey, and I would like him, in a sense, if we don't land that big fight, to fight TKV for the British title. I would love to see him win the British title, but at the same time, if the big opportunity comes, it's so hard not to take that opportunity. This is where the strategy really comes in. You've got to really think carefully, because he's, for the first time in his career, he's in a really good position. He's got a long-term contract with great money and great opportunity, but...
A bit harsh on the work Darren did with him.
Well, yeah, that was a long time ago. You know, he's really grown as a manager since then, you know. But it's like, yeah. But we got to remember those opportunities don't come around very often. And, you know, I know there was a lot said about maybe 6 years ago, he had an opportunity to fight Daniel Dubois for good money. And I said to him, I don't think you should fight him. He wasn't training. Like, it would have been so bad to watch and so dangerous. And I just said to him, if you get yourself back in position, I think you'll make that money anyway. And he never got himself back in position because he just went off the rails. But now I look back and I'm glad he never took that fight, if I'm honest, because I'm not even sure he'd still be in the game this long. And we just got to think really carefully, because, you know, I really want him to make the right decision. But also, selfishly, as a promoter, we've got a little bit of a diamond in the rough there, someone that's a massive star at the moment. Let's have it right. You know, I keep saying to people, outside of Fury and AJ and Eubank and Ben, tell me the other big names of British boxing. Dave Allen's right up there. And people might say, come on. But
like, fan favourite.
I mean, we see it in our digital numbers, in the interactions. Ask all the members of the media here. So we'll see what happens. He could be in a monster fight next. Or, if not, he'll fight for the British title, which would make me very happy as well. And guess what? I think he'll fill up Sheffield Arena.
Quick one, just before we let you go. Speaking of opportunity, moving up to £154, it seems, for Jerome Boots Ennis. Have you had any conversations with him?
Yeah, loads over the last... I mean, it's been a very difficult decision over the last month or so. You know, like, part of us... You see the performance against Stanionis, and if I said to you that that was probably 60% of what Boots Ennis has, imagine what he's going to do at 154. Like, you've only got to look at the guy on fight week to know that he's depleted. But listen, he's weighing in, he's recovering, and he's still... That was a sensational performance, but he's like, Ed, I know how I'm feeling, and I'm just not... I'm not powerful like I should be. I'm like, really? And he says, look, watch me at 154. And honestly, this guy is going to put the fear of God up everybody at 154, not just at 54, at 60 as well over the next year or so. He's a massive guy. And those extra 7 pounds are going to be huge for his performance. So back in August, September, and then ready for everybody. Virgil Ortiz, Mutsalayev, Fundora, anyone you want. That boots, for me, 100% physical Jaron Ennis will be unbeatable.
Talking about those mega fights, just the final one to finish on, bring it back to Birmingham, bring it back to Galal Yafai. He told me the dream opponent is Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Different Rodriguez. I think one day we'll see that.
That's
maybe.
an absolute natural fight. It's just how long Bam will stay at 115 pounds. You know, I think the move for Bam to bantam is quite soon. The fight against Cafu is the toughest fight in the division for him. I know the Puma fight's a great fight, but style-wise, that's a good fight for Bam Rodriguez. Cafu is very tricky, very, very talented. We've sold nearly 7,000 tickets already for July 19th. It's going to be a huge crowd in Arlington, and Bam's special. I was watching some tape of him earlier training, but Bam against Galal is a mega fight. It's just the case of, are we going to get there, you know, and maybe over time.
Well, this is boxing. We love it. We can stand here and talk all day. That was the press conference. Join us tomorrow for the official weigh-in. Fighters on the scale from 1 p.m. Head on down to BP Pulse Live if you are in Birmingham and can watch the weigh-in live in person. From myself, Jamie Ward, Eddie Hearn and Darren Barker, we'll see you tomorrow.
There may be Commonwealth gold, Olympic gold, and 9 professional wins. But my story has only just begun.
What a brilliant start by the Olympic champion. I don't want to be a menacing spell from Yafai.
There's only one way it will end.
Yafai is relentless.
World titles,
That is a quite sensational victory.
pound for pound.
The physical presence.
That was one of the most savage performances I've seen.
Number 1.
The gasp from the crowd. Wow, what a statement.
So remember the name and where you were when you first saw Galal Yafai.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy.
London life is all about living with differences. The opposites that attract, the riddles, the paradoxes, the exceptional and the contradictory. They're part of who we are. They make London what it is. You can feel it in the air. Cypress and Grapevine, Joe Malone, London.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy.